Welcome to the tutorial on how to make black mortar or thinset. And to start off, these are substrates that have the black mortar on them, and there is a much more extensive online course on how to create these substrates, but this is just how to make the black mortar, and this shows you just how deep of a black you can get with this tint and what I'm going to show you how to do. So if you want to learn how to make substrates, they can undulate or be flat like this, or you can wrap your substrate, wetty board, curdy, all those different things, and then put black on them because maybe you don't want to use grout and you want your substrate to show through. There is another course for that called Substrates, Everything You Need to Know and How to Create Them. But what I want to show you today is how to mix the mortar with the tint. And so we're going to use black today. This mortar does come in a variety of colors. You can get it, you can see the PDF where you can order it from, but we're going to show you black today. And the important thing that you need to know is that thinset or mortar. Thinset just means, for tile setters, the reason it's called thinset is you're going to usually spread a thin layer of the mortar onto your substrate, and then you can put your tile on top. But it's really mortar, that's what it is. It's a adhesive product that is gluing two things together. So we're going to call it mortar today. We interchange the words sometimes, mortar, thinset, but they are the same thing for the purposes of this online course and when you are working and talking to other people in the Mosaic community. So mortar only comes in white or gray, so we can tint it to the colors that we want to use. Another great online course if you want to get into lots of colors for creating your substrates and then mosaicing with them is Erin Pankratz. Her online courses, tinted substrates and dots, everything color dots, two great ones. If you want to get into really bright, fun, vibrant colors, that's a great course. We have many other courses on Mosaic Arts Online that require or suggest using black tinted mortar. So we wanted to show you how to make it and have it something that you can have for all of your courses and anytime you are working in your mosaic art. So what we have here is the load rate of this specific tint or pigment. It's really important that you follow that on the instructions, and basically it's a 20-to-1 ratio. So you need to have 20 parts to 1 full part of the tint and 20 parts of the mortar, 1 part of the pigment or tint. What you can also do is cut that in half, and that's what I've done for the purposes of this tutorial, just to make it so we didn't have to make so much of the mortar tinted. So what I have here is a 5.5-ounce little cuppy container, and there are 9 of them in this bag, and this is the 10th one. And this is a half of the 5.5 ounce of just the straight pure pigment. So by using white is a pure color. It's not a color, it's a pure pigment, and you want to use that if you want to get the pure black. Don't think that using gray is going to darken your black. It's not. It's going to actually make it a little muddier because gray is a color, where this white has no color to it, so that the pigment can act specific to that white. So you want to usually use white unless you want a muddy look for your tinting. So what we're going to do for this part of the process is I'm going to actually put the 10th cup into this baggie just so you can see the whole process. And then I'm going to add all of this half a cup of the tint. And it sometimes helps to wear gloves. I'll definitely wear gloves when we start mixing. And then with this very sturdy freezer bag, I'm going to zip it very tightly and try and get the air out without the powder coming out very gently. And this is one of the best ways to get even disbursement of the tint to the mortar. And then we're just going to gently shake this bag up. It takes a little bit of time, and just gently, because you don't want to blow the bag out. There couldn't be anything worse if that happened. And you just want to gently push the two together, and we'll just keep kind of turning it. And you could do this on a much smaller scale. You know, you can do 5 to 1/4. And but the load rate's really important. You don't want to over tint because you can really mess up the integrity of your mortar. So really pay attention to your load rate when you do it. And that works for all the tint colors. So when I am complete here, it's going to be gray. It's not going to turn black, which is fine. It will turn black when we add the water, so do not fear. So now that we have it very evenly dispersed, and a lot of it. The other thing that's great about doing these large amounts is, let's say you're doing one project now and then you have another project to do in a month. You will have the exact same color to work with. You never have to worry about matching your color when you put them stored like this. Thinset or mortar has a 1-year shelf life. Don't ever use it longer than a year. Your pieces can start to fall off. It loses its integrity. Really important to know these little tips and tricks if you're storing it. It's also important to store your mortar in a plastic baggie and then in a plastic container. I live in a near the ocean in California location, and I definitely need to use a double bag and a plastic bin or container to hold my thinset and my grout, because I don't want the moisture to get to them, because for a year you're going to use, and this is a higher end mortar thinset I'm using here. It's a Laticrete 254. You can use Mapei, you can use big box stores. It doesn't matter as long as it's fortified. You never want to use an unfortified mortar, because it really does just add that important amount of strength you need for our mosaic art. All right, I'm going to come back in the next section, and then we're going to show you how to add water to it and create your tinted mortar.